Hi, I'm Nick Ross for iTWire. Today I'm with OutSystems. Who are you? What is your role and what is your remit?
Hi, thanks, Nick. My name is Paul Arthur. I'm the Regional Vice President for OutSystems for Australia and New Zealand, and I'm responsible for all the business here across these markets.
For those who don't know, what does OutSystems do and why would companies want to work with you?
Thanks. So OutSystems is one of the premier low-code service providers across the globe. We have a rich history in delivering solutions in this space. We started in 2001, where a group of developers realized there had to be a better way of delivering applications and just handwriting code every single day and rewriting the same lines of code. So they looked to build a new solution, so initially to help themselves, and then obviously they realized that this was something that could be used more broadly. So over the last 20 years, we've been developing and refining the OutSystems low-code platform, and we now have over 2,000 customers globally, 400 partners working with organizations to release the power of innovation through software.
What sort of customers are you using your services at the moment?
It's really interesting because any company that wants to innovate using software and create applications, be they B2C, B2E, or B2B applications, are applicable to OutSystems. So we're not really vertically aligned. We have customers in pretty much every industry you could think of, from large to small. So in Australia, from ASX top 10 listed companies, right down to small organizations looking to innovate, and service providers and startups looking to provide new solutions across every vertical, both public and private sector.
And in these turbulent times, how's that affecting the low-code market?
It's really interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of changes, both economically and technically, going on right now in parallel streams, if you like. So we've seen issues via COVID, where through the pandemic, where organizations were looking to deliver applications very fast to fill gaps in as they moved from on-premise to working from home and remote solutions. So there was a very big drive to create fast, quick, simple applications that fulfill business gaps that they never realized they had until they went remote. But what we've seen more recently is, with changes in the economy, is organizations are looking to obviously minimize their cost. They're looking to do that through effectively reevaluating their portfolio of applications and looking for any legacy and modernization projects that they can bring in to try and reduce the cost of managing the day-to-day and managing their technical debt, as well as obviously from a technology perspective. If you're not talking about AI today, then no one's really listening at all. So how are organizations looking to bring that into their, the business is seeing all this out in the market, and they're seeing publications talking about it, and they're going to their IT teams and saying, hey, what are we doing about AI?
So speaking of that, how is OutSystems using and going to be using AI?
Well, it's interesting. OutSystems as a platform has always been taking advantage of AI. For many years, we've had the function. We have something called AI Mentor, which has allowed developers to effectively support them in their development and creation of applications. So building quicker, building more efficient, building better structured applications, and helping them to avoid technical debt as they did that build. What we're really excited right now is that step now between a device type of AI to generative AI. And we now have a project which we call Project Morpheus, which is allowing developers to use generative AI inside the OutSystems platform to create the first version of many of the applications they want, and build out effectively the ability for them to focus on the differentiation and what matters to their business, rather than having to build out the core of the application. So we see that situations where people can use natural language search and natural language requirements to say, hey, I'd like to build an application to do this, and this platform will go away and create the core of that application. And then all they have to do above that is customize and configure for their own requirements.
So how are customers and end users adopting AI already?
Well, it's interesting. I saw some regional research that said, 2 out of 3 organizations across Asia Pacific are already starting to look at AI. I was at a customer roundtable yesterday in Brisbane, and I asked that same question. Everybody put their hand up and said they're doing something, but obviously it's at a different level across the board. Some organizations are more advanced than others. Some are more cautious around, obviously, the issue around some of the open AI platforms like ChatGPT and exposing data and that. So what we're seeing is some organizations are using it to augment some of what they're currently doing. They're using it to do some more broad data level work. Some organizations are starting to use it to generate applications. Now, there's one way of doing it is to help it use it to generate code, but if you use it to generate code, then effectively, you can be creating technical debt from day one. What we're seeing is organizations within OutSystems are using it to generate low-code based applications that have that code built, managed by the platform. You're not creating technical debt, and starting to accelerate their deliverables around new projects that they want to deliver, as well as legacy replacement projects and modernization projects.
Can you tell us which customers you might be working with locally?
Yeah, we have a number of customers in Australia and New Zealand, and one of my favorite customers, effectively, is Monson. So Monson are a shipping agency based in Perth, and they had a legacy application that was helping them manage the shipping across 30 ports across Asia. So imagine, things are going iron ore, wheat, hot coal, anything that's going on the ships, tracking where it's going, what ship it's going to, how things are being moved around. They were using a legacy application that was really slow and cumbersome from their perspective. They were really struggling to get customizations done. They were struggling to work with the vendor to actually get a solution that was fit for purpose. So they came to OutSystems to see whether we could help them build something that was more appropriate to their needs. They had a timeline that that application was going to become end of life at some point. They knew it was going to happen. They didn't know when, but they knew at some point that application would go end of life. So they really wanted to take their destiny back into their own hands. What they built was a whole new version of their core shipping application inside OutSystems that's now completely web and mobile based. They don't use spreadsheets anymore. They're not using email to basically fill the holes in the old application. And they've accelerated their journey to allow them to offer some of these services out to their third-party contractors as well as their customers, providing a much more efficient service to those, and driving internal efficiencies and external efficiencies through their supply chain. We have a great case study on our website if I was interested in what they're doing at Monson, so it's worth looking at.
Okay, we'll add a link into that. And what are your development teams working on at the moment?
Well, I think the key thing is Project Morpheus. It's bringing that to market. We're at the sort of beta stage with that right now. We've got some customers looking at the first version. I think that's the key thing. We've always been driving innovation within the OutSystems platform. We're always looking to see what's next. Our latest version of OutSystems, called OutSystems Developer Cloud, is a fully cloud-native solution. So allowing people to take advantage of cloud-native technology like microservices, containerization as well, while still maintaining a stream that allows certain customers, because of security and compliance need, if they want to run the OutSystems platform within their own environment, they can as well. So we're really trying to look and see what's coming next and then build ahead of the curve. And I think Project Morpheus with generative AI is definitely where we're going with that.
And how would you see the industry progressing in the next 12 months?
I think what we're seeing is obviously more and more adoption of this concept of generative AI inside of businesses. At the moment, it's external. Now we're seeing a lot of organizations looking to try and internalize some of that capability. I think that as we do that, once the people get the guardrails right, because that's one of the security questions and the compliance questions around if you're exposing your data to some of these sort of generative type of technologies, especially if they're external to you, I think there's definitely going to be some progress there. But what I'm definitely seeing a lot of right now is people, how do I deliver the backlog of projects that I need fast and efficiently at a cost base? And how do I look at where I may have done a lift and shift, I may have moved a lot of my stuff to the cloud, but there's a whole bunch of projects that were deemed too difficult or too complex. How do I address those? And I believe that low code and things like Morpheus is the perfect alignment for people to start to attack some of those thorny problems that they've sort of left on the shelf. They were too difficult to do or they're too expensive to do. Now is the time to be able to do them.
And how can potential partners work with you? Are you sales direct or through the
No,
channel?
we have a multitude of go-to-market strategies. So we work with partners pretty much exclusively in our services model. We have a very small services team locally internally, which we do use, but many of our customers use our partners to deliver on services for applications. We have specific partners who work in specific verticals, adding expertise and creating their own content to sit on our platform. So we have something called the OutSystems Forge, where people can actually place content and create almost off-the-shelf packages that are based on the technology. So we have, let's say, over 400 partners globally who are contributing to the ecosystem, and we're more than happy to speak to as many as we want who actually have a need and believe that low code is going to revolutionize the way that people deliver software in the future, because it's not about what you build. In the past, people thought low code as a platform for small side projects projects or nothing really too business or core, maybe mobile, you going mobile or going sort of web enabled. Now we see organizations delivering mission critical core applications using low code, because it's not about what you deliver, it's how you deliver. I see this as similar to the transition when people move from waterfall to agile. You still delivered the project, you're just now delivering it in a much more efficient manner. So the move from high code to low code is like moving from waterfall to agile in terms of increasing the speed of delivery, the efficiency of delivery, and most importantly, the cost of delivery.
And is there anything else you'd like to add while you've got the ear of the iTWire audience?
I think that, yeah, don't be afraid of low code. Look at the platform. It is a viable option. I know some people say that, you know, developers have a fear of low code, that it's going to de-skill them. It's not. What's going to happen? Interesting comment yesterday in the roundtable was someone said, my developers fear they're going to get replaced by AI. And what they actually, he said, no, you're not going to get replaced by AI. You're going to get replaced by developers who use AI and low code more effectively. And I think it's time to embrace that as the future of application development. And high code, while still has its place in certain places, as waterfall does, it's something that we really need to be addressing, because the time is now to accelerate delivery of these applications.
Okay, Paul from OutSystems, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick.